Hey guys, as you can see, got her off Jackstands on wheels and tires. Got the rear suspension most of the way done. Front suspension still got a few little details to work out, but I got brakes, calipers, and caliper mounts and hoses and all that stuff. Working on getting the back. The front's gonna be a little bit more. I got to redo all the lines. I'm gonna replace the master cylinder, brake booster, and everything. But take you around. I'll show you what you've done so far. Hey guys, as you see, I got the Sterling 10.5 mounted up underneath here. I got the Shackle Flips done, which I'll show you here in a second. Got my brakes on all four corners. Still lacking brake pads. I got to do some brake line work, but that'll come here soon. Got my wheels in. They're 17x9 Pro Comp rock crawlers. 4 1/4 inch back spacing. Got them from Summit Racing, like $94 a piece or something like that. The tires I got on here right now are my 38-inch groundhogs, which this particular tire on the other side's got a big chunk of the tread missing out of it, so they're no good. I can't use them, but they're on here for now until I get another set of tires. I got the shock. I gotta get a new shock bolt, but this shock mount's done. Passenger side, I have to relocate the shock mount, which isn't a big deal. I already got the rivets ground off, just gotta move it a little bit, drill some holes and bolt it up. Brake hose, I gotta relocate the brake hose mount. Move it to about here, which is turned 90 degrees and dropped about 3 inches. And then I'll put the brake hose right over here, so it'll give me plenty of upward travel. Got the fitting to adapt the Super Duty brake hose to the F-150 brake line. I'm going to have to redo all the brake lines on the whole truck, from the master cylinder back and across the axle and the short little piece from the master cylinder to the frame, which isn't a big deal. This truck had really bad brakes when I got it, and you could tell it was leaking at the wheel cylinders, it was leaking at the brake hoses, it was leaking at a couple of the fittings. So I'm just going to go ahead and start completely from scratch. A new master cylinder, new brake booster, all new lines. I'm kind of concerned. These brakes, I believe, were a Hydro Boost system off the Super Duties to begin with. They're twin piston calipers all the way around, and the front ones are monsters. So I'm kind of concerned about not having enough vacuum through the booster for the brakes to work real well, because the 390 big block does not create a lot of vacuum. So I may end up having to completely change the brake system out and go to a Hydro Boost setup. A buddy of mine who's got a lot more knowledge than me on this stuff, he says I think like the late 90s, early 2000 Mustangs had a Hydro Boost setup that might work good for this. If I didn't want to go to that full Super Duty setup, because I don't know if you guys have seen that, it's gigantic on the Super Duties, and it would take a lot of fab work to get it all plumbed in. I had to steal the power steering pump off the Super Duty and all that stuff. And another thing I don't really want to do Hydro Boost if I don't have to, is I'd eventually like to do hydraulic assist steering ram in the front, and I think trying to do the brakes, the power steering, and the hydro assist steering would just be asking too much of the power steering pump. So again, I'd have to upgrade to something. So we'll see how it all works out. Now, if I'm gonna move the camera here, I'll show you what we got going on with the Shackle Flips. Daylight's kind of fading on me here, guys, so I apologize for the lighting not being the best. But here's the Shackle Flips. I believe they're made by Sky Manufacturing, but I bought them through Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. They're actually really solid units. They're made out of, like, I think this is 5/16 plate and 1/4 inch plate. They're all welded up and everything. Drops the mount down 8 inches, but gives you 4 inches of lift in the back. And as you can see here, I'm still running the factory swing shackle. I could not get these bushings out. They were seized in. I tried every trick in the book and I just couldn't get them out. So I'm just ended up buying new shackles. I got the new bushings, polyurethane bushings going them. But I cleaned up the leaf springs, got new urethane bushings front and rear. You can see sitting right there are the grade 8 bolts for the shackles. I'm just running grade 5 in there right now, because I could not get a hold of the grade 8s the day I did the swap. So there they are. As you can see, got the brakes under here. Got one shock mount left to do. That's gonna be pretty simple. Then I'm gonna fab up the back bumper so I can get the fuel tank back in it. I'm gonna clean up all this wiring that somebody boogered all together, which is just ridiculous, but it seems like par for the course on this truck so far. I'm kind of wheezy up front here to show you what we got going on with the brakes. Before we do that, here's a look at the Pro Comp 17x9 rock crawlers. Really nice wheels. Kind of heavy, but that's alright. Here's that issue I have with that groundhog. Giant chunk of tread missing out of there. but they work for now. Rear drive shaft I'm going to have shortened about 3 inches. When I do, I'm going to rebuild the CV axle and all that stuff. So that's why it's laying on the ground. It's going to the Driveshaft shop here pretty soon. Best way to get up underneath here, show you the brakes. Look at those giant twin piston calipers up front. Just absolute monsters. And you see there, that's why you gotta run 17-inch wheels on this truck, because there is no clearance between the rotor, I'm sorry, the caliper and the wheel. I got the front just about buttoned up. I still have to get that nut for the track bar, but I got all the shock mounts dialed in. I got all that stuff squared away, so. On the front here, eventually gonna probably end up replacing this winch, because I think the motor's fried on it. Solenoid actuates and everything, but it don't turn. So, but I got it changed around. I got it sitting where I want it. You can see I came in here and I cut the front fascia out to make room for the winch. Got it pushed back as far up as I can, because I'm going to keep this winch plate with this little bar here. And I'm going to run my bumper off of this angle here out to the corners, fab up my own bumper, and that's going to be great, because then I can get rid of these that somebody just had welded to the frame. So just getting rid of those alone, you can see where the winch was is there, and where the winch is now is there, so it's backing up quite a bit, which is good. I'm super happy I got it off Jackstands. Makes a world of difference. It's a huge step. Anybody that's done a job like this, you kind of understand. You know, you work on it, work on it, work on it, and you get it sitting on its own weight again. It just makes you feel good. But you can tell it's got a little bit of a rake in the front. I still have plans on swapping out the front spring so it'll match everything and get it leveled out actually pretty nice. So just a quick little update video, guys. Let you know when we get to the next step.